So I'm here at a friend's house today doing a landscaping project for them. I'm redoing what used to be a garden. Is completely beyond overgrown now. And my biggest problem in here has been a vine called Bittersweet. If anybody doesn't know what that is, it is an invasive species of vine. It grows very quickly and it spreads very rapidly. The problem with this vine is that it acts like a boa constrictor, and it actually will decimate an entire area within just a couple years. It climbs up the trees, it suffocates them, it drags them back to the ground, and it just continuously squeezes tighter and tighter and tighter until it pretty much kills its host. So this is one tree that I've already been working on getting the vine off of. And you can see, and it's not even a very big vine, what even just a small vine will do to the tree. That's where the vine used to be, and it's like that all the way up the tree. It's another ring, not as deep, but where it started damaging the bark. And then you can see where it will, areas where it will actually do more damage for me to remove that vine. Because it's so embedded to the tree, it's going to be like me opening up a wound versus just leaving it there. You can see how it's growing around it. And then on the next ring up, you can tell where it's been squeezing even tighter that the tree has actually started trying to grow around the vine itself, and it's actually growing out of the tree there. And it'll go all the way up to the very top, spread out more and more, and just drag the tree to the ground. And like I said, it spreads very rapidly. So it'll absolutely just take out an entire area as quickly as it can. And then if I can move over here, I saw them a second ago. I was lucky to find some berries down lower. If I can find them for you again, which are right over here. If I can get in there to show you. Luckily there's some down lower. These are usually at the very tops of the trees. You can kind of see how it splits open with an orange casing that turns in almost looking like a flower with a red berry center. And these are actually very small clusters, but will grow into very big clusters, almost the way that grapes grow. And those will be all in the tops of the trees. One of the best ways to identify it that I originally learned, I actually learned about this plant back in my sophomore year of high school in environmental class. We did a project around the school to remove these. That you can see that it's quite a bright orange. This is actually a pretty dark one. They can be extremely bright orange. And this is what you've got to be careful of, because if you pull it up, if I can even do it from where I've already pulled it with you on camera, but as you can see, they're slightly difficult to get out. They can be a lot worse. This isn't too bad. It's just I'm doing it with one hand here. But they'll just keep going. I'm going to have to dig the end of that up because I think it's going underneath another tree. But they'll just keep spreading all the way across the ground. I mean, that's a tiny vine right there, and you can see how far that root goes. And the problem with this plant that makes it such an issue to remove is that if you leave even an inch of that root in the ground, it's going to grow right back. So it is a pretty major project to remove a vine like this. And it does kind of take constant maintenance. You got to go back out and check every year and see what's growing back that you missed. But it does have a very woody bark, not a lot of leaves, but almost blends right into that tree there. You see what the bark looks like of the more full-grown vines. But they really do a lot of damage. They'll completely take out an area of woods and destroy your land if not taken care of. So, even if you're on a hike and you see one vine of bittersweet popping up somewhere, just rip it out. It'll stop it from spreading and that kind of thing. Also, if you're going to remove it, I don't suggest bringing it out and dumping it in the woods. Because like I said before, 1 inch of it will grow back. Your best bet is to actually burn it or dispose of it in some other way. Put it through a chipper if you have a chipper or something to that effect. I don't know how those work with vines. I've never used one. But some way of actually getting rid of it. Don't just dump it somewhere because it's just going to grow where you dumped it. And it will also destroy anything it can come across. You can see how it's been growing out of the garden here if I move it and across the lawn. This is one that I pulled out. You can see how far they'll actually stretch across the lawn, going all the way down over there, looping around, splitting off into a lot of sections, and it'll attack anything it can get its hands on. This one actually managed to grow up out of the garden across into a completely different tree. Nice big pine tree that is growing way up in there, so I'm going to cut as much of it as I can down and out of that tree, and again pull the roots up. And this is a mini version of what it does at the tops of the trees. You can see parts of the pine sapling that's in here, and all this other crap, this whole big nest of vines that I actually just started trying to find out where the end of it is, where it's actually coming, to dig it up. But you can see how it's just bending this whole poor tree over and ripping it to the ground, and that's what it does on a bigger scale with the big trees up high where I can't get to show you. You can see how they all come together and wrap multiple vines together and just keep eating away at everything. And that's just this whole area over here is all that. Just another example of what the root can look like. See how it spreads out in all different directions and does the typical thin to thinner, and then it gets little fibrous areas around it. And what's kind of cool is you can see right here, this one came up with this one, and what's attached to it, that's where it's trying to sprout out new vines. You can kind of see the tip there. Almost looks like the tip of any other typical plant kind of poking up out of the ground before it has its first two leaves. So you can see the amount of bittersweet I've gotten out in just a couple hours. And that's only from this little section of what you can see here. Was all that bittersweet. That's the crazy damage that it can do. Sorry about my shadow. But thank you guys for watching. I just wanted to share that with you, a little bit that we can do to help out the environment around us and help out our own land. And I'm sorry about the noise of the traffic. I'm pretty close to the road here. And I will see you guys next time. Have a good day.